Good morning and happy Sabbath po sa lahat.
Good morning. Happy
Morning,
Sabbath.
happy Sabbath.
This morning, I would like to share to you my testimony. But first, I would like to ask you a question. For you, what is a miracle? And have you ever experienced a miracle? And I do believe that each of you have different stories of miracle to tell. But what's really in a miracle? When I arrived When I arrived in my second Korean mission field, I thought that I would be teaching children. However, the work there was totally different because my junior pastor told me that I needed to focus on working with my Filipino group, or I was assigned in a multicultural center. And upon hearing his words, I was quite worried, for it would be my first time to take charge of such a big group of people. And I was not confident of myself, but I would like to be of great help to my fellow Filipinos. I was assigned in Ansan City in Multicultural Family Service Center, and the members of the group were mostly comprised of overseas Filipino workers, or what we commonly call as OFWs. So therefore, it was expected that they work either on day or night shifts. Hence, it was hard for me to have a daily home visitation. Nevertheless, I needed to do my assigned work. So I prayed to God to give me opportunities wherein I could share His love to them. Then one of the members advised me that she had a friend who was also her previous co-worker. They're both working in South Korea before. Her friend just gave birth to a premature baby via cesarean section. It was so hard for her because the baby was born 3 weeks, 3 months earlier than the due date, and there was a small chance of survival. Also, the newborn had serious complications due to meconium aspiration syndrome. This was caused by the fetus swallowing of the meconium stool that enlarged her tiny stomach. And the baby, because of her situation, the baby needed to stay in the NICU, or the neonatal intensive care unit, for a longer time for further monitoring. However, the mother needed to go home since the doctor said she could not touch her baby yet. And when I heard that she went back home, I grabbed the chance to meet her, considering that she could hardly move because she was, ano diba, cesarean siya. I visited her and helped her as often as I could. In Ecclesiastes 11 verse 6, it says there, "In the morning sow your seed, and in the evening do not withhold your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, either this or that, or either both alike will be good." Jesus, our Master, told us not to become idle workers. Therefore, let us not withhold sowing seeds of love in the hearts of the people anytime, and see how God will make it grow. I could not bear looking at Ate Anne's suffering eyes. The name of the mother's baby is Anne. Yes, her baby was already born into the world, but she could not even touch her tiny hands since the baby was born, or was taken the from ang tawag dyan, siya ng mother. Even just a touch of the hand, wala pa. She was at home recovering from labor, but her baby was still in the ICU fighting for her dear life. Oh, how I wish that time that I could be a superwoman to ease all her pains. However, all I could do was to offer her my prayers, thinking that it would bring a little comfort to the heavy and her burdened heart. The longer the baby would stay in the hospital, the higher the bill would be. Paying it was a great challenge to the baby's parents. Then I thought of opening the case to my junior pastor, but he told me that the center's fund was insufficient. I shared it to my group, the Filipino group, and the rest of the groups, and they started to raise fund for the baby. Even though my junior pastor had declined my request, I still continued to pray that the center would offer assistance to the baby. Then, one morning, during our staff's meeting, the senior pastor gladly told me that the local government of Ansan had donated some money, almost a million actually, almost a million won. He also said that the center had given their contributions too. My heart really leaped for joy for that great news. And I would like to share in Mark 11:24. This was the verse that I really pinakahawakan ko, hold on to during the time. Mark 11:24. Therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them and you will have them. So let's ask, believe, and claim. That's the ABC of prayer. And when we do not receive the very things we ask for, at the time we ask, we are still to believe that the Lord hears and that He will answer our prayers. We only need to pray and believe. After operations, two successful major operations, I mean, and more than 3 months of being hospitalized, the baby's name is Muriel Chloe. The miracle baby was at last discharged. Her ever hopeful parents, relatives, and our Filipino group really greatly rejoiced over the news. Those apparatuses, and tubes that were connected to her fragile body just to support and extend her life were no longer needed. It was all because of God's miraculous mercy and power. God's mighty miracle wrought in baby Chloe's dear life is so memorable for me and my group because when she was released from the hospital, we also prayed and hoped that she would be dedicated to the Lord. Her parents were not Adventists, and it would be impossible for them to let their baby be dedicated in our church. However, we still fervently prayed to God to show another miracle on us. With men, it is impossible, but not with God. He is really great. Just 2 months after baby Chloe was taken home from the hospital, her parents decided to dedicate her to the Lord in our church. It was such another awe-inspiring miracle to our group. For this, we all gladly rejoiced. And on May 6, 2017, during the church's celebration of Children's Day, the miracle baby was finally dedicated to the Lord. That day, we could not explain the joy that was in our hearts, but we knew that it was the Almighty God who saved the baby's life. And you know what? Like 3 years after this, umuwi na ako ng Philippines. And then, here she is now. Her name is Muriel Chloe. This is the miracle baby. She's now turning 5 years old. And the Lord wanted us to learn that all things are possible with Him.
Amen.
And let's hope that God will still show us His miracles the same way He did to the life of the miracle baby. I
Amen.
hope that you're blessed. Thank you.